Hi again then guys, and of course as promised yesterday I mentioned that I was going to be releasing a circuit tune setup with both handling and top end speed for the Le Mans in particular, but other tracks as well for both the Sauber C9 and the Jaguar XJR9. So of course stick around on the channel later today for the Jaguar. We've already done the Nissan a few days ago, but as with the Nissan, this is designed to be capable of being used with the stock cars, but then if you do decide to drop the weight and increase the power, you can do that as well. So it's balance and performance friendly, in other words. Now as far as traction control, I'd of course recommend having it off because it is quicker when you learn how to use it. But of course that's down to personal preference and driver level, driver skill level, experience. As far as the tyres, again, we've got racing hards for the exact same reason as the power and weight. Basically, whatever you can make it do on hards, of course it will be even better on softs, so it gives you a good idea of what it's capable of. As far as the suspension, we've got the ride height on 60 and 65mm, frequency on 4, anti-roll on 5, for the compression on the dampers at 56, with 85 on the rebound. I've just got 1 degree of camber for this car. Neutral toe. As far as downforce, as I said, it's handling and speed, so we've got that set as low as you can go. That's still quite a bit of downforce though, and of course you can adjust that if you feel necessary. As far as the diff, just like the Nissan, if I recall correctly, I've got the lowest initial torque, the highest settings for both acceleration and braking, and then as far as the gearbox, this is actually optimized for when you bump up the power to 102% and drop the weight, and then you can get 240 miles per hour out of it. Now, without those, so 100% power, 100% weight, expect it to be a little bit slower, but you can still essentially use these same ratios. An auto setting of 255, then I've gone for individual gears of 2, 1350, 1025, 0.8, 0.675 with a final drive of 3675. And as I mentioned on screen, but I forgot to actually say it in the Nissan episode, if you do need the car to have more slipstream potential without hitting the red line, then of course you could drop that final drive a little bit more, say to 3.6 or even 3.5 to round it down, and that will allow you to get up around 250 or a little bit higher, of course, depending on how low you go with the final drive, for when you get in behind your opponents. But I would recommend being careful with that, because as soon as you come out of the slipstream, you won't be quite as quick as with this setup. You might cruise at maybe 236, 235 instead of 240. So that's it for the tune. There is room for variation and personalisation as always, but now of course all that remains is to take it out to Lasat to see what it can do. Now, as you can see from the footage here, which is the same lap time, incidentally, as from the Rivals match yesterday, which was, spoiler alert, the quickest of the 3 cars when we did the showdown, you can see the kind of lap time potential that you've got. I was running it with an auto gearbox on racing hards and was still getting a 2-minute 56 lap. Now, that's fast, but of course when you increase the weight to 100%, or stock, in other words, expect to lose a couple of seconds. It won't be quite that quick necessarily, unless of course you're just a better driver than me anyway, then you can make up the time. But as a general rule, if you do drop the weight, it does make a couple of seconds difference to the lap. So if you do decide to use this tune, it's certainly competitive. The Rivals match definitely showed that. So if you do decide to use it, I hope you have a lot of fun, win plenty of races with it, and of course, stick around on the channel and click through at the end to check out the other Group C tune setups as well. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.